Stephen, sad news in Scottish football this week, the passing of Billy McNeil, Rangers, and John Gregg I spoke to earlier in the week who made a very nice tribute. You've won the European Cup like Billy. Would you like to pay your own tribute?
Yeah, well, I think it's obviously very sad news. Obviously a big icon and a legend of the game. I think it was good that John went over and paid his respect to represent us as a club. So yeah, I'd like to pay my respects as well.
Big game this weekend against Aberdeen. Is it fair to say they've been a bit of a bogey team for you this season?
I think that's very fair. If you look at the results, they've obviously damaged us, certainly in the cup competitions. So yeah, we've got nothing but respect for them. It'll be a tough game. Aberdeen play different against Rangers. That's what I've noticed. They certainly raised the game. It seems as if Rangers is their biggest game of the season. So yeah, we're fully expecting a very tough game again at the weekend. It's an important game for both clubs, so we'll have to be at it.
What do you mean in terms of style, or in terms of, do you feel they try harder against Rangers?
That's the way it looks on the eye. You know, obviously we watch a lot of the opposition. Watched them last week against Celtic, and they never laid a finger on Celtic in the semi-final. But they obviously come to play against Rangers and bring their A game, and they're very physical, and they definitely lift the game against Rangers. That's for sure.
Is that a compliment then in a way?
I don't know. You'd have to ask them. I don't know. They're a good team. They're physical. They get in the faces. They're organised. Difficult to play against. That's a compliment from us to them. But yeah, I suppose they know that they have to be at their maximum to stop us. So there's been some good battles and some good contests between the sides over the course of the season. They've had the upper hand in the cup competitions, of course, knocking us out. But as the league stands, obviously we've done slightly better than them.
Yeah, and a win, and I think that would secure second place as well. Is that a sign of progress?
I think there's been progress in different areas. I think it would be the first time, obviously, they finished second since they come back into the league, so I suppose people will see that as a sign of progress. But I look at the big picture in all the areas, not just the points tally. I look at us as a squad, individually and collectively, see where we are, see how far away we are, and analyse it properly. And I said on record last week, in a lot of areas we've moved forward and we've got better and we've improved, but there's still an awful lot of work to do. There's still areas of the team and the squad that we need to improve for us to be stronger again next season.
On that front, there's reports this week saying that Duke Hastie's agreed a deal with you.
We couldn't wait to get that.
Are you able to give us any sign on that?
Well, I think obviously it's no secret that there's an interest there. But until we get it complete, there's nothing really to say on it. But you know, I'm not going to sit here and deny it, because obviously it's out there that there is interest.
In terms of your plans for next season, do you feel that you are sort of getting to a stage where you get your ducks in a row, you know what's happening, you get an idea of the guys you want to take with you next year, the guys that might not have a part to play?
Yeah, we certainly know the players and the individuals that we want to take with us moving it forward. In terms of having the ducks in a row, I think we're at a time of the season now where you can go and try and identify some free contracts that can improve your team and your squad. I think it's time to do that. But until the window opens, you can't really go and try and get your targets that you maybe want to sign for money, or the ones that are available at other clubs. It's impossible to do that right now, but we've tried to strike early with some free contacts that are available right now.
You spoke after the closed door game with Liverpool earlier week, saying you found the first half display embarrassing. Are you able to give us a bit more detail on that, or more explanation as to
what was it? Certain individuals' performance and effort and desire and commitment was embarrassing for this football club. A few within that done quite well. The idea of the game was for many reasons, for fitness. You use these bounce games to top people up with minutes and game time, and there was also another major fact that we wanted to give Graham Dorans some time and a good test for his knee coming back from injury, and also to test some young players in and around our first team players. So for us it was a very important game. We wanted to get a lot out of it, but unfortunately we got very little out of the first half, and it wasn't until we introduced four babies, really, four pups who were 17, 18, where there was a massive improvement and a massive gulf in desire, commitment, effort, and just wanting to be hungry to play football. So the second half was absolutely fantastic.
That must be a concern to you when you are, as you say, drawing up your plans for next season and getting things.
It's not a concern because it's quite easy. It's quite easy. You identify the people that want to be with you and want to fight for this club for success, and you identify the people that don't really care, who are starting to show signs of down in tools and rubbing the sand off the flip-flops. It's very, very easy. It's because, you know, it all comes out in the wash, and all you do is you move forward with the people you trust who want to be part of it, and when the right time comes, you leave the other people behind.
Steve, I was going to say, just last night's the performance of the young players in the Youth Cup final must impress you. Is there any plans to sort of bleed any of them on perhaps before the end of the season?
Well, there's certainly plans to introduce them and launch them at some point, but whether that'll be in the final 4 games, we'll have to wait and see. You know, we have to take into consideration that some of these are still 16, 17 years of age. I thought the team performance last night was magnificent. That's what impressed me the most. I thought from goalkeeper to young Coombs up front, every single one of them emptied it out there. I thought Celtic were terrific as well, coming out 2-0 down and showing great character. I just thought it was a great advertisement for youth football in the country. Incredible amount of talent on both teams. Great goals, great tackles, great patterns of play. I was just loving it. I thought it was a terrific night. The only shame was that it wasn't there wasn't a load of support there. You know, I thought we missed a chance to put a load of fans in there for them and give them a different type of experience to play in front of a big crowd. Now I understand for health and safety reasons and this and that, but I thought maybe we should have went somewhere in the middle and gave a certain amount of tickets out to both fans to give them a better experience.
Steve, it's obviously going to be difficult for the younger kids to break through in the first team squads at the bigger clubs. What is the message to these aspiring first team players in terms of the pathway to the first team?
Well, if they're good enough, they'll play. That's the most important message. You know, this is a results business, and if they're good enough and they're showing that they're in better form or they can do a better job than someone who's 10 years older than them, I'll have no qualms or no problems to put them in. But I've said it on many occasions, you know, talent's not enough. It's important that these young kids prepare themselves to have the right body, so they're physically ready. They have to live for the game, eat the right stuff, live the game on and off the pitch correct. Talent will only get them so far, so if they're ready from a physical and a mental point of view, I know that the talent's there, so I'd have no qualms in using them.
In terms of, you made mention there about building or rebuilding the squad to an extent for next season. You're saying this is a time to look at the market of out of contract players. In terms of the other side of the market, in terms of high quality experienced players, do you think you will be able to go into the market again to acquire a Jermaine Defoe type player come August, summertime? Not that position, but that calibre.
I think we'll have to wait and see. I think we have to find out and wait to see what's available. Obviously at the moment we're identifying the people that we want to go and strike for when the window opens. Obviously, you know, I can't give you any names or areas of the team where we're looking at, but when the time's right, I'm sure if we identify the right person that's going to make Rangers stronger, I'm sure I'll get the right backing.
Just more in terms of, will you have the financial backing to do that, be it wage structure or transfer fee?
Well, so far, up to now, I've had the backing that I've asked for. In terms of moving forward, right now, I don't know the answer to your question. We'll have to wait and see. But what I can say is we do need them improvements to happen. If we are going to be more competitive and have a better chance of winning next season, it's important that we do add quality to the 11, which will naturally strengthen the squad.
And on your point about Aberdeen perhaps raising the game against Rangers more than say Celtic, how do you think Rangers have performed against Aberdeen?
No, I'm not saying that they don't raise the game against Celtic as well, but they have found the form definitely against Rangers for sure. And having watched them against Celtic a few weeks ago, it wasn't the performance you'd expect from Aberdeen if you look at the performances they've given against Rangers. But Rangers are obviously a huge rival to Aberdeen, so you'd expect them to raise the game more for us.
In terms of your performances against them, how would you rate them?
I think they've been very mixed, and that's the reason why we've been knocked out of a couple of cup competitions. We've probably performed better against Aberdeen, if I'm honest, up at Pittodrie. So the players are aware of what we need to do at the weekend, and we'll have to obviously perform at a very high level to get the result we want.
Graham Johns, you spoke about him playing in the game last week. I mean, how good is it to see him back playing it, and how did he get on?
Yeah, he's repeating training sessions now, which is good to see, and the injury's not on his mind anymore, which is the key thing here. It's probably too soon for him at the weekend. We'll look to try and get him some minutes in a reserve game coming up, and then we'll analyse it probably in a week's time to see where he's at. But he's missed a lot of football. It's difficult, I don't want to put Graham in when he's not ready. I don't think that's fair on him. So he's working extremely hard and pushing himself. He's had a frustrating time, but at the moment he seems to be in a better place than he was probably 2-3 weeks ago.
Any chance of him playing before the end of the season? Perhaps?
Yeah, there's a chance, yeah.
Jamie Murphy as well?
Jamie Murphy, I doubt it. The reason being he had I think Jamie's got a chance of training with the squad before the end of the season, but with the last game being on AstroTurf, I wouldn't think it makes sense to push to show Jamie for one game before the end of the season. If that game was on grass, there would probably be a better chance.
How is James Tavernier? Because I know I think it's been targeted again over the last couple of days. Is he okay?
Yeah, he seems okay. I just think it's sad and frustrating that racism's crept back into the game, and it seems as if we're talking about it most weeks of late, and also with the bad behaviour from different parts of the game. It's sad. James has addressed it, but he seems okay. He's a strong boy, but again, I'll say it, racism got no part to play in football.
See, Raheem Sterling's taking quite a strong stance on that down south. Do you think, you hope that sort of stuff will...
No, I'm very proud of Raheem. I think he's matured an awful lot from being a young lad when I played with him. Not only is he doing a fantastic job on the pitch as a player, I think he's being a fantastic ambassador and a role model for people around the game. As an ex-teammate of his, I'm really proud watching him behave on and off the pitch how he is, and I think he deserves a lot of credit. So yeah, I hope he keeps that up.
Any other team news?
We've got a couple of doubts at the moment. Tav and Jermaine Defoe are a doubt at the moment, so they won't be seen in training today. Anyone else? I think everyone else is fine.
What's Tav and Jermaine's doubts?
Tav jarred his knee in training yesterday, and Jermaine's got a little bit of tightness in the muscle. We're hoping they'll both be available, but you won't see them when you go outside to cover training.
You've got Ryan Kent back, is that right?
Yes, he's available, Ryan, yeah.
Any positive indications from Liverpool yet?
They're questions for Liverpool and Ryan. We've made it very clear we're at the table, we want him back. It's from where we're concerned, it's a waiting game.
Stephen, can I just finally ask you a question on Liverpool? The fact they could potentially get 97 points and not win the league this season, does that kind of show the level of competition?
Yeah, it does, but there's still a lot of football to play. I know 3 games seems like it's nothing, but I'm sure there'll be a few more twists and turns for both teams, but they're certainly the two clubs that have set the standard and raised the standard in the Premier League. I think Pep said in his last press conference they both deserve to win it, and that's right. But unfortunately, only one can, and you have to feel sorry for whatever team doesn't get over the line and get it done. You obviously know who I'll be supporting, but we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But there's a lot of football and a lot of twists and turns. A lot can happen, you know. But it is a fascinating title race, probably the best I've ever witnessed.
John, another big game against Aberdeen. The manager was saying that they're a bit of a bogey team for Rangers, wants to go and prove a point. Do the players echo that?
Definitely, yeah. I think the talk in the changing room and amongst everyone, I think we owe them one. I think we need to go and be prepared right for this game and make a statement and try and get a good win against them.
It's interesting, the manager said he feels Aberdeen raised their game against Rangers and maybe try harder than against some other teams. Have you, from watching them, got that impression?
I think so. I think every team up here raises the game against Rangers. I think Rangers is a massive club, and I think every team that comes to Ibrox and when they play Rangers, they raise the game, and it's like a cup final to them. So yeah, I think Aberdeen do that, and I think a lot of other teams do that as well.
Do you take that as a compliment or is that a frustration as well?
No, I think it is a compliment to the football club and to the players who are playing. So we've just got to be prepared and hopefully go and try and get the win.
Is that a new thing for you? Having you played for Liverpool, I suppose you must have experienced something similar.
Yeah, definitely. I think at many big clubs, I think a lot of teams raise the game more so than playing probably a lesser team. So yeah, I've experienced that before, and it's always going to happen up here. So you just got to be ready for that. Is
that just the pressure that every player that comes and plays for this side, the club has to deal with?
Definitely, I think it's the size of the club. Rangers are a massive club, and everyone who plays for it should know that and should be prepared for that.
How have you enjoyed the last couple of weeks being back on the side?
It's been great. It's the manager's put me back in, and I've just loved every minute of it. Really, just wanting to repay him with my performances, and we've had three straight wins, so just need to try and keep that going.
How difficult was it being out of the side for quite a wee while?
Yeah, it's tough, but in football, it is football. You're not going to play every game. I think you're going to have dips. Everyone knows that. But just when called upon, you've got to be ready.
You started the season quite well. I mean, can you put a finger on why things didn't perhaps go so well for you sort of middle part of the campaign?
No, I don't think it's put my finger on. I think everyone has dips in form, so I know that myself. Probably when he took me out the team, probably my performances wasn't up to my standard. So I'm the first to know when my performances aren't right, and it's the manager's decision to take me out the team, and you just got to work hard and wait for your opportunity to get back in.
Do you believe that the performance you've put in so far and can carry them on through next season, you can sort of reclaim your place sort of first choice sort of starting next year?
Hopefully that's the plan. I just give it 100% every time I play. Hopefully the performance is there, and hopefully Rangers get the win.
Is it fair to say you bring a bit of aggression to the team? Yeah,
I think so. I think that's part of my game. I think I'm full-blooded, try and give 100%, and always go and try and win the ball and do my best for the team.
Where do you strike that balance between being full-blooded and not going OTT? Because at the start of the season, I think perhaps your disciplinary record wasn't the best.
Yeah, I think so. It's more time than that. I think I've been in the gym getting a bit sharper, so maybe I could say I'm a bit sharper now. But it is just all about timing and positional play and stuff like that when it comes to disciplinary.
Did you expect the competition to be as fierce as what it was when you signed?
Definitely. I think, as I said before, it's a massive club. You're always going to get competition. I've been at a massive club before this, and the competition's high, so I know what's expected and prepare for that.